We're in the middle of a war, but it's not a war where the sides are clear and easy to see, but there are clues. There are literally Democrats right now that are giving instructions not to anyone in particular, but to our entire military, saying that they should disobey orders that are illegal. But who are they talking to, and what orders are they talking about specifically, and why? But there's a pattern here, and we're going to break it down on this episode. I'm Rico. This is the single boyfriend. Give me a sec. Let's take a look at what our former president said not too long ago in an interview.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy, one dad. No matter how good the dad
is, he can't be everything.
He can't be everything, and then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Now, as we all know, Barack Obama was our first gay president. It's already been confirmed. I'll be honest, in my personal opinion, Michelle Obama is a transgender. This was something that I thought was just something that evil, racist white people used to make up 10 years ago until I made it my goal to prove these people wrong, and I couldn't. You know, in Russia, it is widely known that the war in our world right now is not left and right, Democrats or Republicans. It's actually just between nations that are willing to host pride parades versus nations that will not. This is explained by the churches in these other countries that's exactly the lines all these wars are going to be, the sides are going to be drawn between those two sides. And if you get more specific, if you look at the United States right now, it's people who believe children are sexual at a young age versus people who do not, people who want to have sex with children to keep the peace in the country versus people that will go to war before we allow or legalize or decriminalize sex with children. That's the two sides we're going to break down. I'm watching this video about these senators that are talking to the military, and there's going to be something that they have in common. Take a look.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason.
First thing I'm noticing when I'm watching this video is that all of these politicians are gay. Why is it every time I look up, the only people that are literally bad mouthing about how bad Trump is and how Trump's the devil and all these other things, they're either black or they're gay. There's no in between. There's nobody from any other groups. It's only specifically either someone black or someone gay. That's the first thing I'm noticing about all of these people. These people live in a different world, a different society than we live in. These people think they want to live in a multicultural democracy. And they are fighting against us who currently live in a constitutional republic. Listen to what they're asking soldiers to do.
Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day.
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution.
They're not being specific. They're talking about threats to our Constitution. What threats? There are no threats to the Constitution. The orders that the military is being asked to perform, which ones are problematic? Is it that we're attacking boats that are bringing drugs in from Venezuela? Granted, there are issues with that. Those boats can only go 100 miles, and Venezuela is 2,000 miles away, but there are places where they can stop in between. Is it because of what's going on in Iran? Is it because of what we're not doing in Israel? Because of what we're not doing in Ukraine anymore? What are these people talking about? When you're listening to what they're saying, it would appear that they are attempting to instigate a coup. When you have people who you can look at and you can tell that they're obviously gay, and they're now asking the military members to basically break away and ignore orders, which is a huge no-no in the military, to disobey orders, that's a problem. That means that this other group within our government is nervous. And I believe these are the Zionists. Right now, the United States is not stepping up to help the Zionists fight against the globalists because we are also under duress. Trump is being threatened by the globalists not to step in, or they are going to probably unleash the cyber polygon. So now, members controlled by the Zionists, gay members in our government, in our Congress, who are also pro-Zionism, are now asking the military to subvert orders and go against their command. But they're not being specific because there's nothing specifically going on. What this is, in my opinion, is a loyalty test. See, Pete Hegseth initially thought when he joined the military and took his job that he was going to purge the trans and gays out of the military because they are actually being put there as sleeper cells for these outside organizations or for these other countries. That's who control them. These are people who are anti-American. They hate Trump. They have their own separate agenda, but they're within the ranks of the military. We were able to flush a lot of them out, but there are holdouts that are still within the ranks. That's who these gay politicians are literally speaking to directly. Now, it's widely known that our country is ran by gay and pedophile politicians. That's not a secret. It comes out all the time. And now when you're looking at which people were actually in our politics who were directly text messaging and meeting with Jeffrey Epstein, here we were thinking the whole time it was just high up special people. Everyone keeps telling me about Trump. Now we're finding out that Plastic and all these other people are literally texting Epstein in 2019 and before, having conversations. He's telling them what to say, what to ask. All these people are corruptible. If you're a politician and you're gay, or you're a pet, or you're into kids, and they're able to put you in a honeypot situation to get dirt on you, you now work for them. The Zionists of Israel, they're known specifically for these types of operations, which is how they've kept a strong choke on our government. The reason they didn't like Trump is because they were not able to produce anything against him that they could use as leverage. So anything that he's doing right now is kind of just because they might have different leverage on him or for other reasons. But it's not that, because they would have released it by now. Watching these people that are in the government who are actually gay people It just shows you that there is a war. There is a separation. We are all not the same. But you're not allowed to profile. You're not allowed to say, oh, this person's gay, so we're not going to do this, and we're not, because you're told not to. The 1964 Civil Rights Act. We are going to have to profile people going forward. Remember, all of our most recent assassination attempts, all by gay and trans people. When it comes to these school shootings, when it comes to these assassins, gay and trans people, but you're supposed to ignore them because you don't want to seem like a bigot. Imagine a country as big and powerful and as strong as we are, but you're able to completely disarm us by just shaming us with mere words. You don't need weapons, you don't need bombs, you don't need manpower. All you have to do is just get in front of us and call us a bunch of names in front of a camera, and we just fold. Unbelievable. Now, these people are openly calling for people to ignore orders. But, okay, who's going to deem these orders as illegal? Are you leaving it up to the soldier themselves to decide what orders are good and which ones are bad? That doesn't make any sense. But this is a loyalty test. It seems like they're trying to see how many people they still have that are loyal to them in our military, as if something might be happening soon. Now, you got to also ask yourself, if Rico's wrong, why isn't this video being taken down? He's literally saying you can look at a person's face and tell if they're gay or not. Look.
Aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
you must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out.
All gay people, even the men who have children, gay. People have children who are gay to help cover up that they're gay. They're called beards. So the reason, and this is another senator, Scott, this is Senator Scott Wiener, who also passed a bill to decriminalize being a pedophile in California. See, the reason this video won't be taken down or flagged is because what I'm saying is correct. There have already been studies and curriculums created proving that you can use AI or just visual tools to look at someone's face structure, and you can look at them and tell that they're gay. So I'm not saying anything that has not already been proven to be true, which is why these videos can stay up. There are ways that you can just look at someone and know that they're gay. There are certain characteristics about them, so you'll be able to spot them ahead of time. So, and this is the research. One prominent study from 2017, a paper by Luan Wang and Michael Kozinski from Stanford University, claimed that AI facial recognition algorithm could distinguish between gay and heterosexual individuals from photographs with a higher accuracy than humans can. So, meaning that they've already done studies on this. This is on the medium. This is not something that is brand new information. That means that there are visual ways for you to look at. So when I'm looking at these people speak and telling people to do something that is completely unheard of, these are not regular Americans. They have citizenship, but they're the people that we're at war with. Remember, there are people that want pride parades and want to have sex with kids, and they're called MAPs now, minor attracted persons, versus those of us who would rather die fighting in a war to prevent it. There are two sides right now. These are our enemy, and what they're trying to do is find out how many people are still loyal to them because they are getting desperate. Trump is secure, but the Zionists are losing power. They're almost being done away with by the globalists and the Islamist invasions of Europe and the United States. They're not going to be able to compete and fight back. They are going to make a move soon, but they don't have the president stepping in to protect them from the globalists. So now they're just trying to appeal to whoever's left in the military and trying to see how many are still left and how many people will be willing to fight on their behalf. I don't think they have the numbers. I think this is a desperate move by them. When I was going through these senators, I was like, well, let me see which senators have kids. Another indicator that these are women that are gay is that they're older and they have no children except for one. She has 2 kids. The rest of these people, the rest of the women that are in these videos, they're women who don't have children, don't have husbands. They're gays. And no one wants to acknowledge the fact that we're literally fighting a war over children. When you're talking about pride parades and you're talking about transgenderism, all of this is just dancing around the word pedophilia. Even the Epstein stuff. He used pedophiles and pedophilia to blackmail politicians. But he also used those to entice and blackmail scientists. Scientists were doing experiments on some kids, but other kids were used for honeypot sexual exploitation of politicians. It's all going to come out. I've been explaining this to people for the past 3 years about what was going on the Epstein Islands. I was able to figure it out 3 years ago. But now you're going to read the emails. You're like, wait a minute. He was talking to a lot of eugenicists and scientists, even more scientists and eugenicists than politicians. And he was actually involved in MIT and he had a lab on his eye. What was he doing? You're going to start finding out about the experimentations and what the goals and what they were trying to accomplish. And they actually did succeed. And that's where the vaccine came from. So that's the reason why they didn't want to crack open the Epstein files yet, because the vaccine files are in there. And for the people that took it, it's too late. So you finding out what's going on, it's already in you. There's no way to stop it. So it's kind of no point of even going over it unless you want a bunch of people just to riot and tear up the country for the next few years. It was kind of pointless. There's nothing you can do about it. But right now, they're trying to rally and start a coup. They're not going to succeed because they no longer have the numbers. That's why one of the first things Pete Hegseth did, which was genius, was he got as many of the gays, of the known gays, out of the military so that they no longer had access to weaponry, the arsenal, or internal commands. Because the administration understands that there is a war and these people are the enemy. These have been the enemy of the country. They're already now asking for military members to go against orders. On whose behalf? Let's finish watching the video. They don't tell you specifically. They're just speaking in generalities. And they think that because they're saying to disobey illegal orders, that'll keep them out of trouble and it's not technically sedition. But if we are going to let semantics dictate what things we act on, then we're screwed. We have to know better. And there's going to have to be some eggs that must be broken to make this omelet. We're not going to just be able to just say, well, they technically, no. We know what you have to know what they're saying and you have to move forward. They're making their move. We're going to have to make ours.
Orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
Unwed women with no kids who are gay. Men who, if you look at their face structure, the AI would tell you they're gay. Even if they have children, they're gay. Klaus Schwab has a wife, gay. Yuval Harari, children, gay, married to a gay man. There is a war. When you're thinking pedophiles, the LGBTQ community, the LGBTQP, that is a part of their acronym. They want that to be recognized as a sexual orientation so that it's no longer criminalized. They're called MAPs, and they're trying to legalize that. When I tell you this entire war that's in our war right now, and literally nuclear powers, the whole world could be destroyed, the end of mankind, it's all going to come down to having sexual access to children versus those who want to prevent it. Those are the only two sides. It's not much more. When you're thinking Democrats and Republicans, it's really pedos versus people who want to protect kids from pedos. That's all it comes down to. That's the only thing these wars are being fought over. If Donald Trump came out right now and said, you know what, we are going to decriminalize pedophilia in a way where, even if he says we're going to just do what California did. If you're 50 years old and you're caught molesting a kid that's under the age that's 10 years old, just like they did in California, if the kid says they're gay and you're a 50-year-old man who says you're gay, because the kid also identifies as gay, you no longer have to register on the sex offenders list. Do you know that would be the end of the war between the left and the right there? If Trump just said, we'll do what California said, which if Newsom becomes your president, that's going to make its way throughout the whole country, because that's SB 145 in California right now. If the underage child identifies as gay as well, the waters become so muddy that they can't prosecute you for your orientation. And that's why they passed a bill. They said that it was a disproportionate amount of LGBT and gay people that were being affected by these laws. So instead of convincing gay adults to stop preying on children, they decided to change the laws so that it removed the penalties for preying on children. If Trump said, we'll do what California does, there wouldn't be any more assassinations. There would be no more Democrats talking about how much they hate Trump. All the gay people in the country hate Trump. Trans people hate Trump because he won't do this. He actually exposed it. You know, this legislation from California was making its way east. It was on the ballot in Colorado and these other states. Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump started talking about it, and then it was removed from the ballots, and literally people found out about it and said, hell no, we don't want that. So they hated Trump. They hated Kirk. This was their one chance to decriminalize being pedophiles. You know, when you ask these people and they tell you, oh, our rights are being taken away, and they're like these gay people and these trans people, yeah, Trump took away our rights. And when you ask them, okay, yeah, I hear you. What rights did you lose? The reason they won't tell you what rights, the reason why when that question comes up, they never say anything. They kind of they look at each other and they kind of walk away from the camera, is because the only right they can say that they feel that they lost was their right to have sexual access to children without going to prison. It's because it was being decriminalized. If you're in a liberal jurisdiction, the waters are so muddy, you really don't even, the police will have a hard time arresting you, because if gender is a man-made construct by humans, then what is time? A man-made construct. And if time is a man-made construct, then what is age? So if a man can be a woman, then a 50-year-old can be an 8-year-old, and an 8-year-old can be a 25-year-old. And in those situations, how do you prosecute someone who identifies as one way, but they're born another way? You're not. It's just so confusing. They want the confusion. Trump came into office and said all that shit shut down. Men are out of women's locker rooms. There's no more mixing up. And if you get rid of the trans stuff, then the trans age stuff also goes away. So that's what these people hate Trump for. That's why they hate Kirk. That's why when you see them, they're either black or gay, and they're up there talking about how much they hate Charlie. They're called MAPs. And they're actually have tons of population on both sides of the aisle. There's a lot of MAPs on both sides. They're just in the closet about it because it's not something you want to brag about. But some of them will pop their heads out, do interviews, and they'll say, yeah, we lost our rights. And you say, well, okay, well, which right did you lose? And they won't tell you because it's illegal. It's a crime. It's not, they want you to affirm pedophilia as a sexual orientation. They don't want it to be deemed criminal. So that's what this entire war between the left and the right is about. And until it's ever legalized or decriminalized, you'll have people like Epstein or any intelligence agency that can get dirt on you, acting out on your desires to be gay or to look for, children. When they find out about it, which they can do, they go through your emails, they go through your social, they know everything. They can use it to blackmail you. And that's how you get this control over our politicians. The World Economic Forum said that we've penetrated the cabinets of these countries. But the Zionists in Israel said they can do the same thing. So what you're doing now is you're watching a proxy war of the World Economic Forum in Israel fighting over our politicians. And the World Economic Forum ultimately will win. So you're going to watch a lot of kicking and screaming. So you're going to see desperate moves like this. You're going to see a desperate move like, taking away Charlie Kirk. Those are all desperate moves by the Zionists because they're losing their power. They're losing their control, and they don't know what they're going to do. Why do you think Mark Levin is going to give himself a coronary screaming craziness on stage out the blue all of a sudden? Now, not even Tucker's MAGA. Now this is all of a sudden. You don't think this is like, wow, like these people are they're losing their shit because the globalists are here. They just created a beachhead in New York, which was a Zionist stronghold for the past 100 years. And they're taking over that city. They're going to run the Zionists out of there. The only ones you're going to have left are Shapiro, Netanyahu. The plan for Netanyahu is prison if he's lucky. I don't know what's going to happen to Shapiro. He's one of the loudest ones. And our politicians that were Israel first, even Bongino, how much he loves Israel, those people are going to change their tune and they're going to stop doing all this Israel promotion. These politicians that are on here making this video are being forced to do this by the people that control them. They're gays. So they're easily compromised and they follow orders. That's why they're not being specific. They're trying to find out how many people in these agencies are still loyal to the Zionists. They're doing it. This is a loyalty test. The answer is not very many. For the most part, when they removed all the gays from our government organizations, and matter of fact, the remaining gays that didn't get removed by Hexet at first, they peeked their heads out and you were able to find them because when Charlie Kirk got killed, they were on the internet gloating about it and excited. Those people were all purged from the Secret Service, CIA, FBI, any government agencies. When they were celebrating Kirk's dying, they stuck their head out to do so. They were purged. So these people are now just trying to figure out who's left. So that's what this is all about. And I want you to understand that this is a war for children. People who want them versus people that want to protect them. I'm on the side of the people that want to protect them. I don't know how many people around me are people that want, when John Money proposed that children are sexual beings from the age of 3, do you know how many people agree with that? When we tell people about Magnus Hirschfeld, and how he wrote all those books in the 30s that were 1920s and 1930s, claiming that children were sexual from birth, and to turn a boy into a girl and to touch them, all this sick, crazy bullshit. They wrote books about it. 100 years ago, they were writing about this. The exact same stuff we're dealing with now. The same way they're putting it in the schools here, they did this in Germany. Those are the books that they burned when the kids rebelled against it. The kids didn't want it, but they want the kids. So you have to manipulate the kids. It didn't work then. It didn't work now. But instead of Nazis now, we're going to have Islam that's going to come in and purge and remove all that stuff. It's just, it's a natural cycle, it seems, because what are the odds every 100 years history repeats itself damn near verbatim? Instead of the mustache man, you're going to have Muhammad now. You're going to have people fighting these. It's all just repeating. Small differences, but the same stuff. But now for people that didn't understand why they would make such a video, now you understand clearly what's going on.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
Our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Jason Crow,
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
It's funny that I talk about how all these people are gays. And what did Peach Hegseth do as soon as he came in? He kicked all the gays out of these agencies. So these are all gay people who were pretty much kicked out of the circles once Hegseth and Trump took office. They're pissed. And like I say, these are all gay people. They're known to be gay. And that's why they were removed. And they don't have access to the people on the inside anymore. And they're trying to figure out who do they still have that's loyal to them on the inside. This is why they're pissed.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day.
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military.
Yes, and I'm reading the comments, and so thank you. So I'm not the only one that sees this. You can look at these people. You can look at their face structure. You can look at their eyes. You can tell. You can look at the women, how their hair is pulled back, and then the ear. You can look at their face structure. You know who these people are. You just used to think that, well, besides sexuality, we're all pretty much the same. We're not. We're not. Pretty much that is who you are. That's your being. And if that's who you are, you're with another team. A team that's anti-American, anti-family, anti-children, anti-laws. And you're a part of some other group, some multicultural democracy, some communist nonsense that you're trying to use to impose your will over the United States. And we're fighting back against it. Canada lost. The UK lost. We're not losing the United States.
And intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
Okay, the gang of gays. Which orders specifically? Which laws do you want us to violate? Which laws do you want us to? What orders do you want us to refuse? Why won't you tell us? And matter of fact, when you tell us that Trump is taking away your rights, why not tell us what right Trump took away? We're waiting. I just told you what right he took away, and now you understand what they're talking about when they say it, and now you'll be able to easily explain it to other people when they ask you the same thing. See, now you know too much. Now you know. See, once you know, you can't go back to living in ignorant bliss. There is no being returned into the matrix and forgetting everything that you've learned. You don't get the cipher treatment. Now you're here. Welcome to the revolution. Welcome to the fight.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army.
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
A bunch of gays saying a whole bunch of nothing, trying to figure out how many more gays are still left in the CIA, FBI, Air Force, military, Marines, Army. They're trying to see how many are left. I think they got the last of them when Charlie Kirk passed away, the ones that got online and was celebrating too soon. And they did the post and delete. No. We caught it all. And they're out of there. So, of course, naturally, gays that were already in these positions before are going to be upset that the other gays are gone. It's to be expected, to be honest. But now you guys know what's going on and what's happening and what this was about. This is a coup. It's not going to work because they no longer have the numbers. Had they made this video a week before Trump came into office, we would have been in trouble. But they're chicken shit. They're weak, they're unorganized, and they're scared. But the thing is, these people are going to be, this is all going to come out about these people, and they're going to lose everything anyway. All this eventually, we're barely into year 1. We got 3 more to go. And look how fast things are moving at the speed of light. It'll all be revealed soon. But this whole Epstein stuff, all this stuff is going to backfire on them because they don't know what they're doing. And I'm glad they don't. It works out in our favor. Do me a favor. I love you guys leaving comments. I'm going to respond to them. Like and subscribe. Share the video. The Single Boyfriend on YouTube. Right Wing Rico if you're watching it on my other channels. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love your feedback. Thank you I'm glad you guys are noticing what I'm talking about and you're leaving it in the comments. This is amazing. This is a great awakening. This is the time. You know, Tucker's going to have other issues to talk about. Candace has other issues. But I have to come in and bring up stuff that other people might not have the time to talk about. I mean, there's just so much happening in the world, but there's only so many people that are going over so many topics. If everybody else is talking about one thing, I'm not going to do another episode about the same thing. I'm going to talk about something everybody else is not. I've only seen one person, Tim Pool, brought this topic up, and he gave an explanation, but he missed the whole part about all these people being gay, which is the most important part of all. So that's why I came in with my perspective. Let me know if you agree or disagree. The Single Boyfriend. I'll see you guys again shortly with another episode in a few minutes.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.